Hello, everyone. My name is Dion Roberts, and thank you for joining me today as we go over Chapter 19, Evaluation for Transformations. Transformation is the new hot topic right now, and we are not talking about transformations like Transformers and changing from a car to a robot. We're talking about transformations on a huge global scale, huge evaluations. So transformation. Transformation is a descriptive term for a significant system change. Even funders are requiring transformation from companies, and now they want evidence of those transformations. Transformations can be good or bad. Transformations means dramatic, radical change on a global scale. Please keep in mind, though, that they may begin with an individual transformation. Transformational change in the mindset, your knowledge, or even your behavior of oneself can count as a transformation. Transformation means no one left behind. No one left behind has been a call nationwide to aggressively fight inequalities and tackle initiatives like climate change while ensuring that no one is left behind. Transformation Transformation is a descriptive term. The imperative of viewing developmental change from a complex adaptive system is a perspective, a view. It's very imperative if we want to optimize the chance of developmental success based on a good design, implementation, and evaluation. So even with transformation, there is evaluation. So evaluating transformation. The challenge of transforming evaluation is applying a complex system of understanding concepts, frameworks, and evaluating transformation. What does evaluation for transformation look like in practice? Is there some sort of formula? Is there something that we can follow to just say this is the right or wrong way that evaluation is supposed to take place on that global or larger scale? And to give you an example, when I'm speaking of a global or larger scale, I want to speak and use a company for example. And so the text talks about one particular company and they speak about things like climate change. I want to kind of make it just a little bit more tangible into a company that majority of us utilize every day. Not saying that climate change isn't something that's important, but I want to bring it something a little bit more day to day. So the company I want to talk about is a cable company. A long time ago, there was a cable company called Time Warner Cable. Time Warner Cable was a huge cable company, did a lot of great things, and all of a sudden ended up in a bad wave of press. They had a lot of bad press, a lot of bad reviews, and needed to go through a huge global transformation. What Time Warner Cable decided to do was rebrand. They remarketed, they even changed their name, and now that cable company is known as Spectrum. This would be a great example of transforming a brand or a company in order to change the perception of its buyers. And this had to be done by evaluating data, evaluating systems, and then evaluating the company on figuring out what was going to be a logical way to make that transformation. Evaluation has to be dominated by a project. Evaluation is not something that is a cookie cutter model. There isn't a template for evaluation, especially not one for transformation or evaluation of transformation. Such tools as logic models and SMART goals work well for a project evaluation. They do not work well for evaluating system changes and global transformation initiatives and interventions. This is why evaluating transformational systems is so crucial. Evaluating transformational systems with fidelity. I can't emphasize how important it is to evaluate with fidelity in all things that we do. We advocate day in and day out about fidelity in every company, every entity, and in every school. There's an urgent call for transformation. Urgent calls for transformation make it difficult to find balance and to see both challenges ahead and positive developments that are already in progress. Oftentimes, when trying to make a transformational change, we see the whole elephant and want to tackle that elephant in one big chew instead of biting it down into little small chunks. That's what we see here with evaluations and evaluating with fidelity. Evaluations help us ensure that we are on a transformative trajectory of making a difference. We engage in evaluation not because we have to, but because it's useful. Evaluations help us grow as educators, as people, as companies, and as initiatives for our country. For example, bringing it back to that example that the text gave us about that global warming. So lastly, the text focuses on the UFE principles for transformation in practice with evaluation. And it asks us to focus on 8 specific top principles when thinking about evaluate transformational evaluation. And the biggest thing is global thinking. Remember, transformation is on a global scale. You're evaluating on a global scale, and you want to ensure that you're utilizing your global thinking. Next is global, and I probably am butchering that, but it's global and local. So you're wanting to utilize that global thinking with also that local mentality as well. And so that concept of that big elephant and wanting to tackle that whole elephant, but making sure that you're breaking it down into manageable bites. Integrate design, engagement, implementation, and evaluation. So, integrating that design, engagement in it, implementing it, and then evaluating it to see if it works, and understanding that we're speaking this on a global scale. And even though it's on a global scale, it is still that ongoing cycle of continuous evaluation to ensure a well oiled machine. A complex dynamic system for framing, a connect to an ecological and human domains, equity and sustainability, which is huge and important when it comes to evaluation in any type of global change. Reality testing is that evaluation realistic? Is it something that's going to give us those true data points? And again, lastly, it brings us back to that sense of urgency. And like I said earlier, it's really finding that balance, which that balance can be difficult. It's hard to find a balance when you notice and it looks like every single thing around you is on fire. Thank you so much for joining us and just touching in on evaluating for transformational evaluation in chapter 19. I appreciate you joining us today, and please do not hesitate to leave any remarks or comments down below. Thank you so much.